It's the Kitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. It's the Kitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CB Getty. It's the Kitty Gang Show.
Kitty Gang Show.
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 It's the Kitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. Hey, welcome back to another Kitty Gang Show. This is number 151. Woo, 151. Been a while since. Anyway. We're glad you're here with us. Pull your comments up here. We can welcome you by name. See who's out there. Tom Petrie, John Matrician, listening while at work. Good to see you out there, buddy. Elaine Bashholm, always good to see you. Jim Burt, roll tide, Jim Burt. So we're glad you are with us here today. We actually prepared a little bit for today's show. We've got a new song. Deke's going to lead us in a song he's been working on for a while. We've got some videos to share with you, some Cigar Box Nation members to celebrate, some redesigned things to talk about, all sorts of good stuff. I got a lot going on in the world of Giddy and the world of cigar box guitars lately, and we are glad you're a part of it. I'm glad you guys are a part of it.
You too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I could be working, but instead,
What's been going on out in the shop this week? I know,
Oh,
busy,
stocking
prepping
up
for
Christmas.
necks,
Necks,
fretboards.
and
Yeah, we got a big order of necks coming in.
Well, we're waiting for a pallet full of poplar, of poplar to arrive, so
Yep.
that neck production can kick back in.
Would you say you picked a pallet of poplar?
Pick the pallet poplar. Yes, poplar is very popular around here. Heyo. Couple of announcements first. I mentioned last week I have been working on railroady things, train posters. Here's one sample I got in. It's 24 by 36 of an old 060 switching locomotive with blueprint diagrams. Got that in just to see, make sure how it was going to look in print, and came out pretty good. Got a couple of coffee mugs as samples, featuring similar designs. Gave Danny one with that same 060. You can't really see it, but
Yeah.
he'll come up. He's coming out to the booth.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at
That's
that.
cool stuff. That makes for a fine coffee mug
That's
right
just
there.
what we call 3D TV. Right?
3D. This is real, people. We're not making this up. Well,
Can
Not
we
all
do
of
a
it.
segment
Maybe
where it
some of it.
requires them to wear those red and blue
No.
glasses? No?
No. Although later in the show we're going to be asking you about some new features and talking about some ideas we've had. Here's my new mug. It's got old steam locomotive whistles on it, filled with a fine beverage of flavored seltzer water. So yeah, all sorts of train stuff, in addition to shirts, posters, mugs, and of course all of the cigar box guitar and homemade music themed shirt designs over at hobofiddle.com. If you haven't checked it out, browse on over there, get yourself something, get the wife something, get all the kids, the aunts, the uncles, everybody needs some fine stuff from hobofiddle.com. So, yeah buddy, and if you happen to be a rail fan, I know there's some out there, a growing collection of railroad themed stuff that I'm pretty proud of and happy about. In other news, it being Friday, such as it is, it's another $5 Friday on
$5 Friday. Sorry, I figured you need a jingle, and
What's happening? Yes, we've got a new jingle. Is your mic on?
I think it is.
I
Can
don't.
you guys hear me?
Yeah, something's happening. Sorry. Well, that's Nick, the intrepid producer of producery things. I'll just bring your level up a little
I'm
bit.
just going to annoy a bunch of people and put myself in the corner of the screen.
Here's what we've got on sale today. There's actually 9 items. Usually there's 5. For some reason there's 9. But who's counting? A 9-volt battery tray. Externally accessible. So if you're building amps, if you're building a guitar that has electronics in it, active electronics that need that 9-volt battery, you don't want to have to open up the body to replace that battery. So the external battery tray, I have no examples of around here, but believe me, it's a good thing.
It's there.
And they're on sale. Get 2 of them, I think, for $5. For one of our fretting templates posters for $5. A couple of other historic posters, some nice sound hole grommets, CDs, stickers, all sorts of stuff. Hey, Jason Munoz out there watching. Hey, buddy, from 20 yards away. So yes, yeah. Hey, there's an example of a externally accessible battery tray. Does not come with the Duracell battery. So yeah, $5 Friday, good times.
And then
What?
then-
And then he said a bunch of other stuff. Blah, blah, blah. All right. This week, it was brought to our attention that one of the longtime members of Cigar Box Nation, Uncle John Bolton, he has been a member of CBN since 2010, March 2010, so 10 and a half years. The nation wasn't very old in March of 2010. It was a little over a year old itself. He is about to hit video number 500. 500. He's at like 492 as of the last count. Prolific member.
I think I've got 2 videos.
2
up on the
videos.
Nation.
I
Yeah.
think I've got
Yep.
3, maybe 4 videos.
On 500.
So, I mean, you're ahead of me.
0. Almost 500. Uncle John has been one of the most active and prolific members on CigarBoxNation.com. You know, CigarBoxNation.com, Shane founded it back very early in 2009, January 2009. He, back then, Facebook wasn't really a thing yet. MySpace was still a thing. I still got a MySpace profile
MySpace.
out there somewhere.
Floating around.
Which might have a couple of pictures of my first cigar box guitar builds on it, because it was around that same time.
Stone Age.
But the Nation is a standalone social platform from back before the giants took over the social media world. And it's still out there clicking and kicking. Getting a little long in the tooth in some ways, but by God, it's there. And the active folks who are there, if not every day, then pretty darn frequently. Uncle John, as already mentioned, Dave Linus posts videos on there a lot. Kale at Pornis Studios, who we feature on this show a lot,
I
has
told him I'm going to have to add him to the intro now because he's been on.
he's been on. Yeah, he's a de facto member of the Giddy Gang. Kale is. Glenn Kaiser, the Glenn Kaiser, who is famous in the Christian rock world from his work in the Rez Band back in the 90s. He's been posting a lot of videos. Gary O'Slide, which is a cool name. James Lunsford, posts a lot of good stuff on there. John Red Dog McNair always has some interesting content to share. The Anonymous Pick. Don't tell him I said that. The Anonymous Pick. A.D. Eaker, Buggy.
All I can think of is the blue guy, the tick.
Yeah. Downtown Vinny. I want to thank all of the folks on there, keeping the nation alive, keeping it vibrant with new material. And to celebrate Uncle John, the reigning king of Cigar Box Nation video uploaders, as far as I know. I don't think there's anybody with more than he has. I managed to pull his latest video that he uploaded off of YouTube. Kind of a, let's call it an ad hoc borrowing from YouTube. But here's Uncle John playing a cigar box dulcimer. He's doing the good old gospel song, Old Time Religion on it. Cigar box dulcimer made from 2 cigar boxes, which is a good way to make a cigar box dulcimer. I've done it once. But anyway, here he is, video number 492. Song right there. So thanks again to Uncle John. I don't know if he's on Facebook. I don't know if he watches this show, but if he does, or if he doesn't, and you run into him online, let him know. We sent him a shout out this week. All right, next topic of discussion is homebrewing. When you hear homebrewing, what do you think of?
Mead.
Nick thinks of mead.
And beer.
And beer.
Beer.
I think of nothing.
Coffee?
No thoughts.
I think of trains.
Trains. Well, you know, home brewing.
Not gonna be me.
The term homebrew is, at least as far as I know, most frequently used in reference to making homemade beer, wine, other alcoholic beverages. But sometimes that term homebrew is used in a more general sense. But seeing as how we've got one prolific and dedicated homebrewer here on the stage, one formerly somewhat prolific homebrewer who's slowly getting back into it, and at least one person who very much enjoys the fruits.
I've drank many homebrews
Nick,
in my time, and I brewed with Dave.
Yeah, you've assisted. Our good friend Dave Vachon, who we need to have on the show one of these days to sing a few of the good old songs, has a brewery set up in his basement. Dan, you've got a brewery set up in your garage.
One in the garage, one in the basement.
Well, just for reference, what do you have going right now? What?
Right now, I just finished a hoppy red ale.
Ooh, how soon will
Kind
that
of
be
an
done?
old school. It's in the kegerator right now.
I want to try it. I'll
Come
be
on
over
over.
after the show.
I just did a cider with peaches out of your tree.
Cider, drink up the cider. Yeah.
I've got an Imperial Tropical Wheat wine coming
Tropical
up.
wheat. Oh, so like a barley wine, but a wheat wine?
Made out of wheat,
Woo,
yep.
fancy business.
Tropical hops. Should be a good one.
Well, I think that's the one we were talking about, and this goes forward a little bit into new features for the show, bringing in a little more of the homebrewing. Of course, the focus is always going to be on the homemade instruments and cigar box guitars and such, but branching out a little bit, and maybe getting some video of one of Dan's all-grain brewing sessions in his big multi-level garage setup
Cauldron.
that we can run on the show here.
The witch's brew.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Basically.
well, it is, home brewing. So you've got what? That was 4 or 5.
Got a stout coming
Ah,
up.
jeez.
Got another IPA.
Well, our good buddy that we've gotten to know, Peter, who's running the microbrewery downstairs,
So
was
good.
so good. We'll be down there in about 45 minutes.
Yes.
He started off as a home brewer. Now he's gone professional with it. I've currently got one wine going, a peach wine made from the same peaches, from the same peach tree. 8 gallons of winey goodness. I racked it last weekend, got to have a taste. Quite dry at present, tart, but it's going to mellow nicely. We got Mike Kinsey out there saying he's working on cleaning bottles for a wine that's in the works.
That's always fun.
Nothing funner than getting labels off of wine bottles, I tell you that. So yeah, I actually got some new equipment on the way. A cone bottom fermenter, going to be doing some apple cider and apple wine, all sorts of good stuff. So home brewing, the making of booze, it's legal. Distilling isn't, but home brewing is.
You can freeze distill. I think that's technically
Ooh,
legal.
well, sometimes it
Make
happens
some Applejack.
by accident. A little bit of Applejack now and again. But of course, home brewing can apply to other things. Mrs. Giddy, my wife, was good enough to share a couple of photos with me recently of some of her home brewing. As you may know, she makes soaps, handmade soaps, and also some things that we sell here at CB Giddy, including the Miracle Wood Oil. There she is. Here she is. Filling one of many small of those wee little bottles. If you've ever gotten one as a free gift on from cbgiddy.com, that's how they start. She mixes the oils and the essential oils and then pours them out and then labels each bottle, shrinks the cap on. That's home brewing right there of a different sort. So did you show both? There she is, another angle. craftoftheraven.com is where you can get her soaps. And actually, we've got some of her soaps on CB Giddy now. The Workshop series, 5 different soaps. And there's a sampler that has all of the soaps, the box balm, which is like a balm. I used some earlier on a rashy patch. And the Miracle Oil. Makes a great gift. Good stuff. So, home brewing. If you do home brewing, oh, wow. Shane says distilling is legal in Pennsylvania for personal use. Wow. Old Pennsylvania, they know how to do it down there, by God. Up here, well, across the country, home brewing, making a beer and wine is legal, again, for personal use. You can't sell it. You're not even supposed to trade it, but hey, the barter system, Year and again.
This is all hypothetical, of course.
What? I don't even know what we're talking about.
What?
Anyway, yes, homebrew. Possibly be seeing a little bit more of it here on the Giddy Gang Show. Now, so that I can stop talking to everyone's delight, we've got another video of Kale over at Pornis Studios doing the modern rock song, I guess you'd call it, The Middle by
I think it's the middle from Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World. Something to do...
Howdy folks, it's Sunday morning and it's time for another Sunday song. We're here in the workshop. Before we get into the song, I got something special to show you guys. I received this recently, handmade by a young lady in the state of Nebraska who is a big fan of the channel and also happens to be my niece. This was made for me, a custom instrument made of construction paper. You can see the Scotch tape binding all the way around, as well as the yarn strings and strap, and you can see the paper nut and saddle there. Very well built, very well thought out, a beautiful instrument, one of a kind. I am the only person that has one of these, so I will be hanging this up in the studio. You may see it in the background in some of my future videos, but I just wanted to show that to everybody. And since she sent me something, I thought it would be appropriate to do a song for her, for all the little girls out there. This is a perfect song. Hey, don't bite yourself off yet. It's only in your age you feel left out or looked down on. Just do your best. Try everything you can. And don't you worry what they tell themselves when you're away. It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Hey, you know they're all the same. You know you're doing better on your own, so don't buy in. Just live right now. Be yourself. It doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone else. It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Just take some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Hey, don't bite yourself off yet. It's only in your age you feel left out or looked down on. Do your best. Do everything you can. And don't you worry what their bitter hearts are gonna say. It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Just take some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Jimmy World on a Sunday morning.
All right. Well, thanks to Cale for sharing that with us. I was waiting for him to jam out on that little yarn and construction paper creation at first. I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. But always a song and a smile from our buddy Cale. Speaking of singing and picking and grinning and whatnot, what do you got for us down there,
Well, I
Deke?
got a song called Jackson Station.
Where did you come across this song, do you think?
One of Dante's Wednesday night jams.
One of the that was
you introduced me to, and
well, that was where I got my feet first wet with public playing and singing. Well, singing was at Cowboy Rick's Country Karaoke
right.
that you
had to start with karaoke.
Karaoke, then jam session. So, Band of Heathens
Band of Heathens
is the name of the band. I know I was introduced to it by my buddy Stan Barker, who occasionally tunes in. Used to work here at CB Giddy for a while before moving on to bigger and better things. It's a good old song. You'll be happy to know, Danny, that it is train related.
of course.
Well, I figured that.
So Dan's going to lead us in this one. Deke's going to lead us. We're going to run through the verse, as sort of an intro, and then the singing will start. There'll be harmonica. Oh,
All kinds of goodness.
Mm-hmm.
all right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mama's got a voice like sugar, so sweet and fine. Sister singing in time. Yeah, the playing poor Buffalo in the ground that he worked in so. Well, I'll tap the Jackson Station for the train to go. She's been up all night, she got crows walking around her eyes. She can still raise a cup in toast till the well ran dry. He left her on a Tuesday still, gin, whiskey, and a bottle of pill, waiting at the Jackson Station, looking over the hill. Take me away, hear the whistle sing a sad, sad song. Lay me down where the river runs wide and strong. Sometimes she write a ticket home, other times she leave you all alone. Well, she's waiting at the Jackson Station for the train to go.
All right, Danny, turn it loose now.
Well, the 419 rolls on down the Red Ball line, and the backwater shacks will waken to the 419. She got the smoke coming out of her stack, and she running on a 10-mile track. Well, she's waiting at the Jackson Station, never coming back. Take me away, I hear the whistle say a sad, sad song. Lay me down where the river runs wide and strong. Well, sometimes she write a ticket home, other times she leave you all alone. Well, she's waiting at the Jackson Station for the train to roll. Yeah, she's waiting at the Jackson Station, never coming back. I say she's waiting at the Jackson Station, never coming back. Oh, never coming back.
All right, Danny, one more now.
Big finish. Well, she's waiting at the Jackson Station, never coming back. Whoa, 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 yeah. Just like that.
Hey, that's how it's done. Well, thank you for leading us in that, and bringing it to us, and some fine harp blowing.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, you see Rob Roble out there? Good to see you, buddy. Ron Swihart, good to see you. Shane saying he wants Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road. That's one Dante always used to lead.
Well, we could go outside and look around and see if we could find one.
Yeah, usually around
Time
here
of
you can
year.
find
I
one.
stole one this morning. Peppermint wood kitty.
It was dead. It was-
If
it
not,
was
I saw
It
half-rotted
was.
possum on one of my
half
walks. I
rotted
can
possum
bring
in
you
the
that.
middle of the
It
road.
smells like a skunk, right?
Yeah.
All right, now what do we got? Oh, we got a video from Marty Tauber. He sent us a short video, just under a minute, showing off a wine box guitar that he made, or the wine box guitar. Now this isn't Marty playing it. Do we know who that is?
I don't remember.
We'll say a buddy of Marty's playing the guitar. Here you go. Very nice. Thanks for sharing that with us, Marty. Just realized that we're only a half hour in and almost out of stuff, so we're going to do another song, and then we're going to talk a little bit about a redesign of the Juke Shack. We've been running with this basic design that Farley put together for quite a while now. It's moved once in its life. Think about something a little bit different. So
Laying tracks down in new lands.
before we do that, though, we're going to do another old gospel favorite. It was a hymn from the late 1800s, and then A.P. Carter. Maybe you heard of him. A.P. Carter, the Carter family, kind of took it and rewrote it, and they recorded it and brought it into a much wider popularity and such. We're going to do A.P. Carter's version, because the original hymn isn't nearly as good. Key of G. I was standing by my window on one cold and cloudy day when I saw the hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better on my waiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, I told the undertaker, well, undertaker, please drive slow, for this body you are hauling, Lord, I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better on my waiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Will I follow close behind her, try to hold out and be brave, but I could not hide my sorrow when they laid her in the grave. And will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better on my waiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. And will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better on waiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Let's finish. And there's a better on waiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Whew. All right. So a little bit of banjo in that, which of course caused Louis LaManna to ask any updates on the banjo build-off. And as Shane is pointing out, got a week left on that. So many great entries. Don't know how the heck we're going to ever judge between them. But very impressive what all of you have done and submitted and built. We never done a banjo contest before. Before this, I had never built a banjo before. So it's been really cool to see all the different takes, all the different interpretations of what makes a banjo a banjo. So congratulations to all. Now, redesigning the Juke Shack. Of course, we love and have loved for a long time this kind of shotgun shack design that Farley came up with years ago, a few years back. Kind of modeled after the sort of shotgun shack that you might find in 1920 in the Mississippi Delta region somewhere. Hey, look at that. Hey, a different angle. There we are. Look at us. And then this side of the is kind of a hodgepodge of old doors and random crap. So here's the idea. Here's the plan, that we would kind of turn everything. The stage would be against this wall, because this little studio room we're in is wider than it is deep. And we've always had trouble. Hey, look, there's a... Oh, as he's not live. Never mind. We've always had trouble. The camera can't go back far enough to get a wide angle, whereas it... Anyway, putting up a kind of a new facade, reusing as much of this as we can, and taking it more towards a train station theme, because, you know, a couple of us,
Just cause.
a couple members of the Giddy Gang are rather fond of trains and all things train. We've got some railroad lanterns already hanging up here, but kind of taking it to a train station platform design, having a window there that could serve as a green screen, so there could be stuff going on behind us, trains going by, all sorts of good stuff. Having our intrepid producer, Mr. Lanciano, his desk area kind of built into a corner with all of the electronic bits hidden, so it looks like an old ticket booth or something. So he's always on screen, and kind of redoing it a little bit, as a part of this idea of broadening the scope a little bit. Because if you haven't noticed, over the last 6 months or so, the show, we struggle a little bit to find enough things to talk about. Which brings us into the next topic, that what features would you all like to see? Just to kind of prime the pump a little bit, I was talking earlier, Danny and Dan are both artists. I said to Danny, what from your other interests could be brought in and applied to cigar box guitars? He's a model railroader. So what techniques from, say, weathering model freight cars could be applied to cigar box guitars? Kind of gave him that as a little bit of homework to chew over and think about, so we could do a live or a pre-recorded how-to presentation where he shows us how you can use model railroad weathering techniques on a new shiny cigar box to make it look old and beat up. Daniel?
And
I forget what we talked about.
Some tech features, you know, construction, maybe some decoupage. So you have a cool old newspaper, you want to connect that to your box. I think we're going to start with that.
Yeah, that'd be a
The
good one.
first
I've
tech
never
feature.
actually done a true decoupage. I've
I
talked
have.
about it a lot.
I've done quite a few.
I know you have. So,
Yeah,
you know,
so-
some of these art techniques, the pinstriping that we talked about a few weeks back, you could actually bring in some paints and do some
it
of
up.
that. In addition to, you know, bringing in some more general train rail fan features, of course, all still involving homemade instruments and such, but broadening it out a bit. Louis says more building videos from the bench, and you were right.
There we go.
You know, all these things I built when I went through my building spree over the last couple of months, I didn't take one video. Lots of photos, didn't take a single video out there. Because part of the reason was I was doing it by myself, so I, you know, do something, take a picture, keep going, take a picture. Guess I could have set up a tripod. But yes, more building videos. Painting techniques like sunburst and tobacco burst. Do you know how to do that? Okay,
I've done
I
a
don't.
few.
I have no idea how to do. So see, I'd be learning right along with you. Now that would be tricky to do in here live because of overspray and whatnot, wouldn't it?
It's the way I do it. I use a rag. Yeah, so we could do that.
Oh, wipe on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
See, there's all sorts of good
Secret. It's a secret.
stuff. Oh,
But it
sorry.
won't be
Trade
once
secrets.
we do the video.
Um,
Secret will be out.
I know something I've always wanted. I've seen it described, and a lot of you probably know how to do it. how you darken and weather wood using vinegar and a not Brillo pad, a steel
Stainless.
wool.
Yeah, steel wool.
I've never actually tried it. We could do that live on air. Science experiments.
That's right. Have your goggles.
Yeah, for sure. Safety first, people. So,
We can force my fiddle build by doing it on air and having people heckle me while I try to do it.
or you could do another hurdy-gurdy, like all during one show. It could be.
Oh yeah, that wasn't 4 hours of my life that I enjoyed.
I've got a couple of
Actually, I loved it.
methods I could show. The chemicals that I use for antiquing and darkening metal hardware. I could show my method for antiquing tuners, which I did on a few of these recent builds. This one has, I took shiny gold tuners and reliced them down to like a tarnished copper. So those different kinds of methods, just showing off, you know, the stuff we've figured out over the years. Wood burning tips. Wood burning's easier if you have lots of tips. Tut. Dun-dun-dun.
Wish I had one of those old canes I could drag you up the stage.
Or a gong.
Yeah, more vaudeville,
gong.
more vaudeville skits. That's what we need. Slapstick,
jokes.
vaudeville. So yeah, some good ideas being through. Oh, dance numbers.
With the panda.
The dancing panda. We'll
Should
get,
we
we'll
break
get Jason in. Get Jason in here for that.
Have we
Wood
done
burning
Macarena
tips.
on the cigar box guitar yet?
I haven't. Hey,
Can any of us sing in
Macarena.
Spanish?
The problem with any of us trying to offer wood burning tips is none of us are all that great. I mean, I've probably done the most,
Never done it.
and I just hack away at it, you know. So if we find somebody who's good at it, they could
Go
give some tips.
slow.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually,
You practice on a piece of pine or something, or
go slow,
Scrap.
practice. Yeah. All right.
don't touch yourself with it.
Don't. The tip is hot. That's
Sound
a-
like you speak from experience.
With soldering irons, yeah.
Oh yeah, or hot glue guns. Turns out
Oh,
hot
yeah.
glue is hot, very hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a bit of solder spray off when I was in high school, learning how to
Yeah.
solder. It landed on my finger. I still have the scar,
Well,
like 15 years later.
yeah. All right, Farmer Giddy comedy bits. Yeah, I need to do more of those. You know. Anyway, here to kind of end out the day, we've got a video from the archive. Our good buddy who's out there right now commenting along. Jim Morris playing the cigar box fiddle. It's not this one, is it?
No.
Okay. One of
It's
his
like a
many
gong, but-
cigar box fiddles. I fall on my knees. Think another spiritual, right? Yeah. So. Here we go.
Look up, look down that long lonesome road. Well, there's more than one, there's more than two. There's more pretty girls than you, my love. More pretty girls than you. Well, you told more lies than the stars in the sky. You never get to heaven when you die, little girl. Never get to heaven when you die.
Wicked good jokes. Very funny. Yes, sir. What was Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. Banana.
Wow.
Wasn't expecting
Oh,
that,
my.
were you? Well, as Jim pointed out, that was a lover's lament, not a spiritual. I took a wild stabbing guess at it and missed. So, it's a good one. Thank you. Jim, again, at big old Starry Night Camacho Liberty Box guitar there. Looked pretty good. So we're going to do another song. Danny's going to lead one. Seeing as how I led one and Daniel led one, well, gotta keep this fair and
There you go.
equitable. Something a little bit different. We don't
Eagles.
often veer into classic rock here on the Giddy Gang Show, so
Shake it up.
yeah, why not?
All right. All right, we're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I heard some people talking just the other day, and they said you were gonna put me on a shelf. Let me tell you, I got some news for you, and you soon find out it's true. And you have to eat your lunch all by yourself. And I'm already gone, and I'm feeling strong. I will sing this victory song. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Well, the letter that you wrote me made me stop to wonder why. Well, I guess your health felt like you had to set things right. Just remember this, my girl, when you look up in the sky, you can see the stars but still not see the light. Yes, I'm already gone, and I'm feeling strong. I will sing this victory song. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo!
I guess I could fake something here.
Well, I know it wasn't you who held me down, and I know it wasn't you who set me free. So oftentimes it happens that we live our lives in shame, and we never even know we had the key. And I'm already gone, and I'm feeling strong.
harmony, and that gets way up there. I don't know which of the Eagles sang those high bits. Glenn Fry or
No, he sang the lead, I know.
did he?
Yeah.
Well, whoever did the high bits has a high pitch.
Walsh,
Joe?
all those guys.
I think
I don't know.
that
I
was
don't know.
before Joe.
Yeah,
Walsh.
I think Joe
I think
came
that was one of their
around later.
early ones.
Anyway, we'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Giddy Gang Show. As Rick Flink saying, he got his first Giddy guitar done. That's good news. Glad to hear it. So yeah, we're thinking about how to kind of rework and expand and improve this here Giddy Gang Show to keep it interesting and hopefully interesting and fresh for all involved. So we'd like to stay with you longer, but we don't actually want to because there's a brewery downstairs with a couple of new brews on tap that we got to go do our best to help out with. So thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week. Don't forget $5 Friday going on through probably tomorrow morning whenever Shane gets on there and turns it off. Get some good stuff for $5 a pop. Some great new designs over on hobofiddle.com. Train stuff, cigar box, guitar stuff, all kinds of good stuff. Makes great gifts. And every time one of them sells, it makes me happy. Ain't gonna lie. So, we'll see you again a week from today.
Next week.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Hopefully some new bat content. Oh, we got a song to play out on.
One more song.
I keep forgetting this here theme song.
I'm gonna learn it one of these days.
Well, you know.
It's really hard.
After,
I know.
after your first year, it's
all right.
All right. Goes like this here.
Something like this.
Well, it's the Giddy Gang Show on Cigar